What do you think will be the biggest surprise in 2023?
Markets are going to begin to look beyond all of the things that have plagued them for the better part of 2022. And I actually think that that could put us on a firmer footing from a risk asset perspective prior to the end of 2023.
China might still be the biggest surprise, coming back into the market as a consumer, as a producer, and as a market participant in terms of financing deals and financing businesses.
I think the China market is a key variable in 2023 because from all the data that we could see now, whether it's fundraising or deals and exits, all of that China-focused activity has come down quite dramatically in 2022 compared to 2021.
The second half of next year could see a rapid and significant pickup in M&A activity. The type of deals are going to be very different. We see the bulk of activity being in bolt-on and portfolio deals in that mid-market, that 50 to 500 million EV space, as opposed to the mega deal end of the market where deal activity is likely to remain subdued.
We expect that hedge funds will continue to demonstrate their value as being among the very best portfolio risk mitigants for institutional investors amid this continued political and economic upheaval. So all of this then should act as a catalyst, we think, for the industry to grow further in size.
We might see a collapse in gas prices, which could have a fundamental impact on the economy. Gas is part of the cost of so many things. If the cost of energy nosedives, we might see a very different economic landscape.
To put it bluntly, markets turning around and being better behaved a bit sooner than a lot of people currently expect.
I don't see a Fed pivot this year, as the markets are expecting. And they will likely remain hawkish more so than other central banks. The US dollar can still see strength against other currencies, which would in turn create opportunities for US investors to allocate to Japanese and European assets.
Well, when we look back at 2023, so let's say in January of 2024, I think we'll be surprised at how quickly the Fed sort of stopped raising rates, probably middle of the year, and then started to think about bringing rates down. As inflation fades away, I think people will be surprised at the acceleration of the snapback, how quickly the economy recovers, and how well companies do coming out of that.
The biggest surprise for 2023 will be sustainability remaining priority for investors and all market players.
2022 was clearly, brought us back down to reality from the post-COVID uptick that we saw across the publics, but in the general markets, I think we were kind of riding post-pandemic a bit high in the financial markets, and then that came really crashing down, and with good reason.
On the positive side, there's a big emphasis on the emergence of the retail investor in the report, which from an access standpoint, I think that's excellent, but it's got to be done with great care, great due diligence, great transparency.
So a lot of companies and also banks haven't recovered fully from COVID. So there's a lot of restructuring that still needs to happen, particularly in Africa, where you still see banks not lending.
On the negative side, I see everybody I talk to and listen to, inflation sustaining at something well north of 2%. We're running at about 8 here in the US, I think higher in the Eurozone. And the control of this number is not really in the full hands of the Fed as it might have been in other cycles.